Well, hello. It's been a while. And I suddenly got all hot. So whilst I'm fidgeting and taking my hoodie off, we'll wait for some people to join me live. That's better. So I have a specific purpose for coming on live today. I want to speak to you about something that I've got coming up starting on the 10th of October. And it's not been officially launched yet, but you know, this is how we roll in my world. Someone's already signed up, so I thought, maybe I should tell more people about it. So happy Sunday. And I am currently in London. And I'm about to, in about an hour's time, I'm going to go and meet my boyfriend who's running the London Marathon. So I'm going to go and meet him near the finish line, and then I'm going to scoot on down to one of the meeting points at the finish line, and then we're going to go and eat all of the food. But I took myself out for breakfast, and I was just in contemplation, as I often am. And I was thinking how much my outlook to showing up in terms of content creation and things, how much that's changed over the last couple of years, in particular this year. And one of the things I remember was at the beginning of 2021, I watched whether you love her or hate her, Ellen DeGeneres. I don't really have any opinion, at least I didn't have formally, until I saw her stand-up show, Relatable, I can't remember what it's called. And it's not normally the kind of comedy that I would go for. I normally go for some like really fucking weird stuff. I'm sitting on the floor of my hotel room, by the way, which is why it's like random setting and like suitcases and things. Hey Maureen. Hey guys, nice to see you. Yeah, so I remember watching her show and thinking, even though I never would have thought that this would be my cup of tea, I just felt really drawn to watching it, and it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was so funny. And what really struck me about it was the effortlessness and how less is more. And when I watched her, I was like, wow, there's a confidence in the delivery. There's not that I'm not confident when I deliver or any of that. It wasn't in direct comparison. I wasn't looking at her and thinking like, you know, oh, I should be more like Ellen. Like that. I was just watching it for entertainment, but I'm me. And so my brain naturally, when it feels inspired to take a little look into something a bit deeper, it'll go there. And so when I started watching this stand up, I was like, it's effortless, it's confident. And the reason it's confident is because she really only says what needs to be said. And I enjoy many types of comedy. It's like one of my favorite things in the world is watching stand-up comedy, particularly live. I love it. I'm a big fan of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, where my boyfriend and I will often go. Not for the last few years, obvious reasons, but you know, we've been many times. And sometimes I love the comedians like Ross Noble or Paul Foot, who are a bit more like me, and they will kind of just be like this stream of consciousness, but they will put their comedic stylings into these stream of consciousness, and it's that energy and it's that relentless stream of words and the hype that they bring and the weird quirky shit that they say that makes them fucking hilarious to me. And then that's normally the kind of comedy that I would go for, is really weird kind of stuff that you have to almost concentrate, and you're like, you know, almost like an out of body experience watching these comedians, because there's just so much energy happening. And when I watched Ellen, I remember thinking, wow, she is a master of her craft. Again, whether you love her or hate her, doesn't really matter. When I was watching this, I was just like, master of your craft. Very clever. Really just say what you need to say when you need to say it. And it was a very, very powerful moment for me, because I looked at it and I thought, how much of my content at the time was created because I just got in the habit of being very prolific with content creation, and how much was really having the desired effect, and how much was me playing into a game that I'd learnt the rules to in order to achieve a specific outcome, versus how much of this is actually just, I have something on my heart to say and putting it out with that energy. I've always been pretty blessed in terms of my ability to just create. And then in the last year, it started to slow down. It started to feel more like there was so much noise on the internet, and there were so many people like putting their hand up to be like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I had this little awakening last night, actually, around, you know, I've spoken about this a bit, but around the fact like turning 40 next year, and some of the environments in which I choose to spend time, a lot of the people are younger than me. And I noticed where maybe I had been feeling like my age was, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't look for it, Georgina, feel for it. I can't, the word is got, I'm just eating pancakes, so I've got like a sugar brain, which is not great, is it? I can tell my face is like a little round moon, because all I've done since I've been here for the last 2 days is like eating carbohydrates, so my body's just like puffed up. So my face is like a different shape, and then in 2 days when I get home, it'll be back to its normal shape. But when I eat so much carbohydrate, like my body just goes poof. Retains water in it. What are you gonna do? I'm a woman. Just get on with it. So I was realizing that disadvantage there, that's the word. Yay! Choo-choo, train of thought. It always comes back. Hi, Alanda. Lovely to have you here. My mystical witchy friend. So yeah, so it's like my age in those environments has felt to me, no one's ever said that it's a disadvantage, but I had internalized this idea that my age was a disadvantage. And then I was sparring one evening last week, and one of the guys said to me like, oh, how long have you been doing this? I was like, oh, quite a few years, you know, and I trained with this guy, I'm training with him for 4 years, and he was like, oh wow. And I was like, yeah, but you know, like, I am 39. He was like about like 18 or something. I was like, yeah, but you know, I am 39, so, and he was like, yeah, but that's just experience. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't even realize until I think that moment when he said that to me, that I assume that people in those environments perceive me to be like, she's not a threat. She's just, you know, this middle-aged fucking woman who trains at our gym. And then when I was in that environment, and it was reflected back to me that like, actually the thing that I'd been holding against myself unconsciously was actually something that could really be a benefit. And I just thought, oh, it's interesting to receive that reflection and that perception. I just kind of like put it away and carried on punching people. And then last night when I was out strolling to get myself an ice cream, which I really didn't need, but it was delicious and I enjoyed every mouthful. Hot chocolate fudge sauce on a ham. No. Hence like why I look like a little moon today. I'm not really meant to eat dairy either, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm on holiday. Do what the fuck I want. So last night I just thought, wow, I wonder where else I'm not really in full acceptance of the gifts that being my particular age brings. And it just felt like, I think a lot of the time we see people online, these little whippersnappers, you know, in their 20s, bearing in mind that we paved the path, you know, like we old grandmas, we paved the path online for you to be able to do what you're doing. I don't really feel like that, but you know what I mean? It's like, we've been doing this for a long, like I've been doing this for a long time, or like a longer time than a lot of these people who like pop up online and they're like, in my first year I hit 6 figures, in my first year I just had a 7-figure month, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been fucking out here grinding, hustling, sharing the wisdom, changing the lives for fucking years. And you're out there with your 1 million symbolic metallic balloons. And I'm here going, are you fucking kidding me? What? Maybe I'm just too old for this shit. Like, unconsciously, these patterns are created. And it might not even be age for you. It might be something else, right? It might be like level of experience, or like, you know, I've worked with people sometimes who've literally gone through art school, got degrees, been art teachers, etc., who get annoyed that these people who come up with like quote unquote less experience, less qualifications, come in and suddenly they're like at the top of the art scene and everyone's like kissing their ass because they're, you know, they've just owned their space, and they've just come in with confidence and be like, this is what I want. And then with the people with more experience, the people who are older, the people who've like literally got degrees and shit are like looking around going, how is it possible? And that feels somehow unfair and unjust. And I always say to them, like, it's really just about knowing what you want. Your age, your ability, the certificates you've got, the qualifications you've got, it means jack shit if you don't really have the confidence to show up online and show yourself to the world. If you're not willing to actually be all that you are and not continually try to be in competition with the people around you, then you're never really going to get to where you want, because you're always going to be thinking that you need to like one up somebody else or be further along than somebody else. And all that does is it kind of pulls us outside of our bodies. You know, it pulls us outside of our bodies. It pulls us outside of our own sovereignty. And, you know, it doesn't have to be age, more, it could be anything, right? But it's just interesting to me how, like, I noticed that and I was like, using that as a gift, using the years of experience that I have as a gift, using the fact that I'm a bit older than some of the people around me is a gift, using the fact I'm a bit younger than people around me as a gift. And even rather than having to put any labels on any of it, what if we all just showed up as who we are right now? And we didn't even think about our age or our body shape or our ability or the money in the bank or whatever it is. What if we literally just showed up for our life every single day? And I know that this is the stuff I talk about all the time, but the message is always deepening for me. The more I continue to live my life, you know, 6-line life, the more I live and the more I drop deeper into my own body and my own experience of this life, and the more that I allow my desires, my wants, my needs to be the things that drive me, rather than looking around and go, oh, okay, I'm meant to want that, or I should feel inspired to create that, or I should do it this way. None of that has ever really worked for me. It's only ever worked if I truly, on some deep level, wanted the thing that I went after. And I think for me, learning and understanding and just being with my creative flow, and understanding that sometimes I don't want to create anything for anyone else. I just want to be me and just be in my own life, and accepting that rather than trying to push myself to create something when it's not in alignment, or when I feel the urge to create something, even if it makes no sense because I'm already selling 3 other things or I'm doing 3 other projects or whatever. If I feel like the creative fire is there, follow it. To just follow it. And it really creates such a sense of peace in my nervous system to just trust the natural ebbs and flows of my creativity, to trust the natural ebbs and flows of just my productivity, if you will. You know, such a gross word, but really, I love to feel productive. I love to feel like my energy is going towards something, because when I'm fully in my alignment, I have a lot of energy. I have a lot to give. I have a lot of fire. I went and trained myself in the gym the other night, and it's so funny because when I go and do a class, I will often feel really drained, like really fucking tired afterwards. I went and I trained the other night. I trained myself, and I was training myself for like an hour and a half, like nearly 2 hours by the time I'd finished stretching and everything. And I got home to my boyfriend and I was like, holy fuck, how did I do that? Like, I just kept going. I just kept being like, oh, I'll just do one more set. I'll just do one more drill. I'll just do one more thing. And it was really interesting to me to just honor my own flow and to just keep going because it felt good. There was no time on the clock. my trainer was training some other clients one-to-one. He was like, yeah, feel free to come use the gym. So I did. And I literally just trained myself. But I had so much energy because I just kept going, and it wasn't pushing, it wasn't forcing. It was literally just, I'm going to do another 10-minute bag round. I'm just going to like do 100 kicks and then I'll go and do this. And by the end of it, as I was leaving the gym and I looked at my watch, I was just like, my phone, saw the time on my phone. I was like, how the fuck did nearly 2 hours go by? How was I training that intensity for nearly 2 fucking hours? Like, what the fuck? So, fuck the fact that I'm older. You know, like when I'm really passionate about something, I can just keep going for hours and hours and hours and get completely lost in my creative flow. And I think the same is true for all of us, but maybe we've just conditioned ourselves out of doing the things that feel really good if we don't think that they're going to be like adding up to something. If we, excuse me, energy moving. Yeah, maybe we just don't invest as much. Exactly, it's about who you be, right? But maybe we just don't invest as much time in our pleasure and our playfulness and the things that feel really good to us, because we think like, oh, well, this isn't going to make me money, or oh, I need to do this first. I'll enjoy myself once I've got X amount in the bank. I'll enjoy myself once I've got to this weight. I'll blah blah blah, you know. And it's very often on our path to the thing that we want, like that's when we're creating it, that's when we're carving it out. And I talk about this all the time because it's so important to remind myself and to remind the people, you know, around me who enjoy listening to me whiffle on, that little bit in between where you get squirted out to the bit where you end up back in the ground, that little moment of time, it's just like, it's a blink of an eye. It feels like forever when we're in it, but it's just like, it could be gone any minute. I don't say that to be dramatic or like dark. I just mean, and also not to elicit panic, because I think a lot of the time when we get into that mindset, we can kind of be like, oh my God, I've got to live my life. Oh. But actually, it's less about that, and it's more about just embracing this fucking moment. And yeah, I know so many people are talking about this, and that's because it's really fucking important. It's, if anything, it is the most important thing. It's the most important thing you can do for yourself, is to be here right now and experience your life in this moment. So even if that for me is being alone in this hotel room, sitting on a cushion in a weird wonky position so that you can see my face, and talking to you on the internet, can I be here? Can I be here fully in this moment? And can I be present in this moment? Can you be present with your receiving of this information? Can you be present in your body right now? And in fact, like, I feel called to even say to you, like, right now, check in with your body. Like, right now, as I'm talking to you, check in. Where is the breath not going in your body? Like, if you were to just notice right now, where are you holding? Like, are you actually even breathing? Are you even fucking breathing? And in 5 elements, the breath is connected to the metal element. And the metal element is about our connection to divinity. It's about our connection to divine, right? Like, that's what it is about. And if we're unable to feel the breath in the body, if we're unable to be with our own breath, because maybe deep down, when we really allow our breath to touch the parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at, like physically or emotionally, we're going to have to feel some shit we don't want to feel. We're going to have to maybe remember something we don't want to remember. And it's okay to just feel it and not make a big deal out of it. If you need to make a big deal out of it and stand up for yourself and take some action, and, you know, great, fucking go and do it. But also, just by feeling what lives in the body doesn't mean that you suddenly have to dig deep into the traumas that have happened to you in your life. Sometimes, yes, of course, like that is a big part of the work I do with people. But you have to go looking for that shit. If you need to clear something, if you need to address something, it's going to make itself known to you, right? It's going to make itself known. You can trust yourself to do the work when you need to do the work. And can you trust yourself to just live your life in this moment as it is right now, and be in deep appreciation for the person that you have become already? So that said, what I actually wanted to come on and talk to you about, I talking, we'd end up with some Nolly Gold. But what I actually wanted to come on, I was just going to do a really fucking simple live stream to tell you about an offering that I've got coming up that starts next week. So I'll do that now, shall I? So basically, a lot of people come to me about authentic expression and just, you know, generally wanting to start talking more honestly to their audience. Stop fucking second guessing every word that comes out of your mouth, every word that you write. Be willing to make a mistake, be willing to get it wrong, be willing to do an entire live stream where you bubbly snot cry on people like I did the other week. And I received so many beautiful messages and so many, like, not just, it wasn't like people saying like, are you okay, hun? It was more people being like, oh my God, I watched your live stream and I felt so liberated. And ever since then, this has happened and that's happened. And I'm like, fucking amazing. Like, by me being in my fullest, truest expression in that moment, which was like a big emotional release and a big realization, by me being in that authentic expression of what needed to move through me in that moment, I was then able to activate that in other people. And that's so fucking cool. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was terrified about doing that live stream, and yet I did it, and fucking cool shit happened for people just by witnessing me and my authenticity. So if you truly want to create change in the world and you truly want to have an impact, your most authentic expression of yourself is one of the easiest ways for you to do that, to just fucking be yourself. And I know I say that it's easy, but I also understand that there's a difference between writing one post online, showing up once online in your vulnerability and then being like, this is who I am. There's a difference between doing that once and consistently showing up for yourself, as yourself, whoever and wherever you are and however you are in your life. And this is the magic of getting this close to me. So thanks, Maureen. My tribe, my portal peeps. So this is the work we're going to be doing in the Content Incubator 2.0. And I have lovingly and in jest, but also because it's true, given it the tagline of turning shit into gold. Because one of my gifts has always been being able to just look at my life, acknowledge the things that are working and celebrate them and tell you about them. And then on the other side, being like, oh, hey, Vicky. I saw your little laughing face just like go up the screen. I love that profile. I can't even see your profile picture fully, but I just fucking love the impact of the vibrancy of that color. So amen to having you here. But yeah, it's called the Content Incubator 2.0 because I ran the Content Incubator 1.0 earlier this year and it was fucking awesome. And I don't generally rerun stuff. It's quite rare that I will run a program more than once. The last time I did it was a money program, like that years ago. So I just felt it was such, do you know what it was? It was actually a really fun experience for me as well. And the people in that container had such an amazing transformation and journey. And we really created like a girl gang, like it wasn't like sisterhood vibes. It was more just like, we're a fucking badass girl gang, don't fuck with us, we are coming for the internet. And it felt really fucking good to just be around that fierce energy of like, let's go. So the Content Incubator 2.0, turning shit into gold, is really about understanding how even when you show up and display the most vulnerable or like the parts of yourself that you're ashamed of, the parts of yourself that make you want to fucking cringe, just being okay, like not pushing yourself to reach inside of yourself. This is something that I used to get confused. And people be like, be polarizing. I'd be like, okay, what opinions have I got that I know are going to polarize? It's really not about that. It's actually about like naturally showing up as yourself. You're going to polarize people because not everyone's going to like you. It doesn't matter how fucking lovely you are. I'm a fucking gem of a human. But trust, not everyone fucking likes me, but the people who do like me tend to like me a lot. So like, I'm down and I'm the same. Like some people I just am like, oh, I just don't want to be around you. Like no hard feelings, but we just don't gel. There's not even a trigger there. It's just like, we're just not a match right now. Maybe we will be one day, but right now, like it's a no from me. And other people I'm like, I love being in your energy. And it's like, you know, so it's really just about understanding that just by being you, you're going to naturally repel and attract people. So there's really no trying, pushing, forcing, And yet, sometimes people will still share something that feels very authentic and maybe slightly vulnerable to them, and then they'll immediately contract and they won't show up online for another 2 weeks. So one of the beautiful things about being in a content incubator with me is that you've got me right there in your pocket on Telegram the whole fucking time, and you've got your, you know, sister witches or wizards in your pocket as well, so that you can just reach in and say, fuck, I wrote this post, I want to delete it, please, and then we all jump in and go, no, you've got this, and we all support each other, and it's just such a fucking cool environment to be in. And turning shit into gold is really about understanding that even when it feels like your life is a complete clusterfuck, you've still got gold that you can deliver. And you are, even when you're like in process, what you are experiencing and the words that your channel wants to express to the world are still so incredibly valuable. And in fact, it's really what the online space, to me, I feel is lacking, is people being truly honest about what they're experiencing. And that doesn't mean you have to bubbly snot cry all over the internet. It doesn't mean you have to be like, life is so shit. But the beautiful thing about the people who tend to be attracted to working with me is that they understand there's a level of self-responsibility that is required to take this work to the deepest level. And we understand that even when we're in the complete clusterfuck that is happening in our lives, and maybe it all feels like everything is melting and we just want to hide under the duvet, we also understand that in that moment, we are in the deepest parts of the learning. And it's okay if you want to just heal and be with yourself and not show up online. That is 100% okay. And it's also okay for you to share that part of the journey if you want to. So this is not about me pushing you to show up in a way that you don't want to. That feels fucking gross. I will never guide you down a path that you don't naturally want to go down. What I will do is I will hear you, and I will hear your higher self saying, she's really not accepting this part of herself. Like, help her love this part of herself. Help them love this part of themselves. And that's where I, you know, rock up and have that conversation with you about, maybe this part of you is actually a really valuable part and you just need to love on yourself a little bit. And maybe part of that will be eventually showing up and sharing this part of your story. Maybe not right now, but maybe at some point you will want to share this, and that is where you get to turn the shit thing that happened into you into gold. Like, you can literally, this might sound really callous and it's not the main aim of this, but turning shit into gold, one meaning of it is literally to take the journey and the parts of it that have been painful or hard, and to look at the gifts in them and be able to share that with your audience. And it's also about going, I had a really shit time, I popped out the other side, and now I have all this wisdom that I get to create something from, and then I can sell it. You know, like, if you feel called to, why not? A lot of us are on this planet because we are like starseed as fuck, divine channels. Here we're transmuting fucking energy left, right and center, and we've got to live, people. We've got to live. We've got bills to pay. We still live in this fucking 3D matrix at the moment, where we do actually need money to survive in this particular part of the matrix. And so why not have some? Why not have some coming in? That would be nice, right? So why not turn your experiences that you've had, not to, and this is so key here, it's not about pimping your pain. It's not about fucking whoring out the struggle story that you've been through. It's about knowing that everything that you are going through is happening for you. Everything is eventually going to turn into this beautiful fucking lesson that you then get to give to others. And it gets to be a part of your legacy. It gets to be a part of what you then receive financial compensation for, because other people are going to be struggling with what you've just been through. I can guarantee it. If you're experiencing some pain right now, whether you're ready to share about it now or not, that's not the point here. The point is, when you are ready to share about it, you're going to pop out the other side, and there are going to be people who are now going through what you've just been through, and you have this amazing and unique experience that you can share with them that makes them go, hope. You become a beacon of fucking hope for the people who are still in the dark. And it's not about reaching in and trying to fix them. It's not about like, oh, you must do it. And it's not about feeling sorry for anybody. It's about going, holy shit, I've just journeyed this, and I feel more powerful, more complete, and more equipped now than I ever have to help people, and to, you know, help people, to support, to be a guiding light for people, to be a fucking beacon of hope for people. And so I'm going to do that. And this is what it's all about. When we talk about turning shit into gold, it is about not just making money from the fact that you've experienced something that you now get to help other people with, but it's also about really understanding that even when you are in the darkest depths of your own despair and existential crisis, of which I have about 15 a year minimum, it's about knowing that there is going to be a gold nugget in it. It's about having faith. It's about trusting. It's about really being safe in your own body around all of the experiences that you're having. So if you want to come and work with me for 4 weeks, it's pretty high touch. You do get me in your back pocket as part of a group Telegram chat. And I'm very active in my Telegram chat, so you can ask anyone who's worked with me in that way. And we also have a weekly transmission and Q&A, and clearing whatever needs to happen on these live streams will happen. So that will all be hosted in a Facebook group. You'll be given a schedule ahead of time so you can make time to be there live or catch the replays, and then you have access to me for the full 4 weeks on Telegram in a group chat. It's going to be an intimate container. Once I feel I don't know how many people I want in there or how many people I feel called to hold in there, but I'll know when it's full, and it'll be like okay, yep, this feels complete. So for now, it's still open. It is 1111, and there is a payment plan where you can split it over 2 months. So if you feel called to come and work with me in this way, we start next week on the 10th of October. So for now, just drop me a DM if you're interested. Like, just send me a private message to my personal account, and I will check in and have a chat with you in there about it. But it will be officially launched in the next couple of days. So if you want to sneak in before it's even launched properly, then just drop me a message, and I would love to have you in there. So, there's a VIP option as well, but I can tell you all about that. Drop me a DM and we'll have a chat. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this gave you some lols and some inspiration. Love you, bye.